When I first started at Simon & Schuster, I was working in the publicity department as a publicity assistant, which I really enjoyed, but I think ultimately I always wanted to work in editorial. So when a position came up in the non-fiction team, I applied and moved along, which I think sometimes it's difficult to get positions in editorial and you kind of need to find a place in a publishing house, and it's easier to make your way from there. I definitely recommend taking a job in a publishing house, even if it's not necessarily the role that you want is your first choice. I think it's a great way to get experience. I think it's a great way to find your place. I think for me, when I first started working for Simon & Schuster, I thought that potentially I'd want to work in fiction, but then actually having worked in the company and seeing what the non-fiction team did, I could realise that was much more for me and better suited. I had a lot of support there, so my boss, the publicity director, I went to her and I just had a very honest conversation about what it was that I wanted to do and where I wanted to take my career. And she was very supportive, very understanding, and sort of said, you know, if that's what you want to do, then I'm going to support you. So I think I was lucky in the sense that Simon & Schuster sort of were happy to carry me through and support me in what it was that I really wanted to do. The first job I got in publishing, it was a publicity assistant role, and actually I was interning at Granta for a while before that. So they put my CV forward for the position. So I was one of those lucky people that did an internship in publishing and it actually managed to pay off and I got a job out of it, which isn't always the case, but I think if you do enough internships and you make enough contacts, it helps. If you're doing an internship, really show that you want to be there, really show that you're passionate and excited, because you know, in publishing, there are a lot of internships and a lot of interns that come in and out all the time. And I think to really stand out is to just show that you really want to be there and you're really excited by it. There's nothing worse than kind of asking somebody to give you a hand or help you with something and they kind of shrug their shoulders. And one of the first acquisitions that I made was a book called Everyday Sexism by Laura Bates. So the Everyday Sexism Project, we're publishing that today, which is really exciting. And I think the really exciting thing about that was that working in non-fiction, I was able to find something that I was really passionate about and a project that I was really engaged with and kind of think about an idea of how that would become a book and be able to go out and approach the author directly and talk about working on it together. So for me, that's kind of a project that I've initiated and worked on with her and taken through, and it's just been a really great experience. And I'm also working, Simon & Schuster have just done a global publishing venture. We've signed a deal with TED Talks. So we're going to be publishing a series of books, TED books with various TED speakers, which is another really exciting project I'm working on. I think the great thing about non-fiction is working in non-fiction, you've kind of got to have your finger on the pulse. You've got to be aware of current trends, things that, have a commercial aptitude, I think, and to see what people are talking about and what people are interested in and to spot opportunities for books. And that's a really great thing about working in non-fiction. You don't just sort of sit and wait for the submissions and the proposals and the authors to come to you, but you get an opportunity to go out and approach them for yourself. I spend a lot of my time in-house kind of pitching books, talking about books, generating excitement behind the book. So I think you need to be a confident public speaker and be able to make presentations. Obviously, you've got to have a good eye for detail. The working culture in the publishing industry is, I would say, a really fun one. It's not very hierarchical. It's very much everybody's able to put their opinions in and share their ideas. It's a very open environment. A lot of publishing houses kind of have open plan offices, and so you very much can go up to a different team and approach them about something else. It's very communicative, very fluid.